Took me a long time to learn when I was a fool. You were a fool. At the time, oh, worried man.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our first school family community council meeting of the year. If everyone is there and can hear me, could you give me a thumbs up, or you can come off mute and say, "We can hear you, Mr. Bunton."
We can hear you, Mr. Bunton.
All right. All right. Thank you, sir. I had a couple thumbs up. Thank you, everyone, for coming off. The reason why I asked is because, as you can see, I'm on here several times, and that is because holding a hybrid meeting is not the easiest thing in the world. It takes some tricky technological magic to make it happen smoothly. And I think I did an okay job, so we're going to get started. So welcome to our, like I said, this is our first school family community council meeting. We are currently, we have invited the members of our school family council to attend, and we are also live streaming on our Facebook page. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with our agenda for this evening, which looks pretty long, but I promise you we're going to get through this fairly quickly. It's not going to be incredibly long. We're going to get some quick updates. As we continue along, these meetings will most likely be held on the third Thursday of the month, but we did want to get something in the books before the end of October. But moving forward, we will continue with the hybrid format for now, and we will do it on the third Thursday, which is in line with what we did last year. So I'm Mr. Bunton. I'm the community school coordinator here at the historic Cherry Hill Elementary Middle School. And we're going to go into our committee reports or updates. As the year goes on, these will be longer. This meeting, there were several folks who were unable to attend this afternoon, one being our principal, Principal Guzman. He does send along his apologies. He had a prior engagement that kept him away, but he has assured us that he will be joining us for all subsequent meetings. Is there anyone here from our Climate and Safety Committee to give a report? Okay, I don't think there is, so we're going to move right along. Our Climate and Safety Committee is focused on increasing and improving our overall school climate, and along with that, safety within our school building. Mr. Grant is the lead on our Climate and Safety Committee. We just had our second round. We're in the middle of our second round of our Battle of the Classes, which is an event that we do once a month. It's an intensive event that allows our students to come together and compete against each other in different types of games and activities, representing their class. So the way it works is those who have been exhibiting our core values here at Cherry Hill are selected to compete on behalf of their grade. The kids love it. It is an amazing thing to see. Right now, it's set up where third grade goes up against the fourth grade, fifth goes up against sixth, and seventh goes up against eighth grade. And that is something that is really changing our school climate. This is the second time around we've seen kids really excited, doing what they need to do because they want to be the one to represent their grade. So if you see Mr. Grant out in the hallways, you will frequently see him in the mornings welcoming students to the building. You'll see him after school. Give him a high five or an elbow dap in the COVID high five, because he's doing some wonderful work around our school climate. Is there anyone here from ILT that would like to say a few things? ILT is our instructional leadership team. These are the individuals who really get into the nitty gritty of our academic strategy. And we're going to talk a little bit tonight about the goals that we have academically. This is the team that is making that happen, that are coming together, putting their heads together, and really making that work. Is there anyone here from our IL team to give an update this evening? Okay. Our Student Wellness Committee. This year, this is a new committee we have. It's called Student Wellness. This is part of a district initiative. This is a team of individuals, and I'm not going to say too much because I got a little treat for y'all that'll allow you to see all about our team. But I am going to here. Members of our IL team is made up of our chair of the Student Wellness Support Team is Ms. Becker, who is our school social worker. We have Ms. Branniger, who is our school therapist. Ms. Marine, our social emotional learning specialist. Myself, Mr. Bunton, the community school coordinator. We have Ms. Hubbard, who is our school psychologist, Ms. Jones, Ms. Kim Jones, who is our guidance counselor, Mr. Terry Bagley, who is an intern social worker who works directly under Ms. Becker, Ms. Shalita Jones, who is our speech pathologist. We meet on a bi-weekly basis, and it's really just about student wellness. We try to target students that we know are going through a rough time, and we strategize utilizing our individual skill sets to figure out how we can best support individual students, as well as assisting teachers if need be with classroom management or partnering with teachers in order to identify students that need extra help. And I got a video here. Y'all bear with me for one moment, and I will get that for you. 1 second. Okay, looks like we had some, a little bit of sound difficulty on that one. I apologize if you were unable to hear that video. Can everybody hear me now? I apologize about that. One of the things that is really tricky when you're dealing with the hybrid meeting is figuring out the sound. So I apologize if you weren't able to hear that. It will be posted on our Facebook page and on our Class Dojo page at the conclusion of this meeting. So if you want to watch it again, it's got some really epic sound to it that we worked out. So that'll be something that you can check out in a little bit. But that is our student wellness team. Is there anyone here? I believe there's someone from our attendance committee to give a quick update. Ms. Scroggins, are you still here? I saw Ms. Scroggins earlier. Maybe she had to step away. Our parent engagement committee, that's also Mr. Grant and myself. Right after this meeting is over, we're gonna have some, the second part of this meeting is gonna be about parent engagement. So I'm gonna wait until we get to the community school report to talk a little bit about what we're doing around parent engagement on that end. And we're also going to talk about that family engagement in our upcoming presentation around our Title I and CSI. And I believe Mr. Cobb was not able to join us. Let me just double check to see if we have any updates from our education program specialist. And we do not. So I'm going to keep moving on to our budget report. So with the budget report, there really isn't a whole lot to talk about. For those of you who were with us last year, we had the budget review. We had the two presentations around our budget. Ms. Garrett put a very thoughtful budget in place, and we are extremely happy to report that our enrollment adjustment report was within 10%. And what that basically means is anyone watching has probably heard that about a month into school, the district does a finalized count of our enrollment. Your budget for the upcoming school year is based on what they call a projected enrollment. It looks at a few different factors and it says, okay, from your trends from the last year, you're more than likely or you're projected to have this many students. Then after school starts, about a month in, they do a more finalized count to find out exactly what your exact enrollment is. And that's where schools can either gain or lose funding, meaning that if you fall short of your projected enrollment by a certain amount, you could end up having to return some of that funding, which usually for a lot of schools results in possibly some programs that they plan to have not being able to be implemented that school year. Worst case scenarios are when we get to like having to maybe let staff go, all the way up from support staff all the way up to teachers. That's the worst case scenario. Well, that only happens if you miss your projected enrollment greater than a 10% swing in either way. We were within our 10% this year, meaning that we neither lost or gained. We didn't lose any funding based on our projected enrollment. We didn't gain any funding in addition to what our projected enrollment. We pretty much hit our target. I want to take that time to give a special shout out to our office staff, Ms. Lee, secretary, and our new secretary, Ms. Moore, who worked incredibly hard to track down students who, one of the things that's counted in that are students that have either not gotten their shots, their updated vaccinations, not COVID-19 related, but just your regular school vaccinations, making sure those students, if they have not gotten those or made arrangements to have those vaccinations updated by a certain date, they can go into that lost student category, so to speak. So Ms. Lee and Ms. Moore did some amazing work in tracking down families and helping them get appointments set, getting their documentation up to date to make sure that that did not affect our enrollment negatively. I want to give a huge shout out to our parent engagement team and our student wellness team members from our administrative team who made phone calls, did home visits, did everything we could to reach out to parents and students who had not been coming to school to make sure that we got a good count on every single kid. I believe our enrollment at this time is 680 students, and we were able to count for all 680 students. So that means that we are good to go. The budget that we put in place last year is a go. We're not going to lose anyone. We're not going to have to sacrifice any of the programs that were planned out for this school year. So we're good to go on that report. And now we're going to go into our Title I and CSI report. So if you can point your eyes to the screen, everyone should have the PowerPoint up in front of them, and we're going to go over our annual Title I and Family Engagement meeting. If you have any questions after today, I'm not trying to rush, but I also don't want to turn this into something that's really long and drawn out and lose people's attention span. So I am going to move through this rather quickly. I will pause periodically to take some questions if anyone has them. If you're watching on our Facebook page, I am monitoring the chat as well. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can please pop them into the Facebook chat. I see our previous social emotional learning specialist, Mr. Edwards, is here, and he said, "Go Wellness Team." I'm gonna tell everybody, Mr. Edwards, that you gave him a shout out. I hope everything is going good with you as well. But you can reach out to me later if you have any questions. There's my number there, 667-256-5004. If you don't know, that's my cell. I answer it or respond pretty much anytime. So feel free to shoot me a text if you have any questions or give me a call. You can also reach out to our community engagement liaison, Mr. Paul Grant. His email address is pgrant2@bcps.k12.md.us. You'll see my number, his email address, and some other contact information as we move through this. So why are we here? Well, the Every Student Succeeds Act, or ESAR, requires that each Title I school hold an annual meeting of Title I families in order to, one, inform you of your child's participation in Title I, explain the requirements, explain your rights as a parent and family member to be involved, and then to kind of have a discussion as to why it is so important. Parent engagement is a huge, huge piece of the Every Student Succeeds Act. And if we don't get a groundswell of parent engagement, it's going to be really, really hard to move those demographics and some of those numbers that we want to see improve here at our school. These are a few things that we hope that you will walk away with once we're done here. And we're going to touch on all of these things. So I'm not just take a quick second just to kind of breeze over that. We're going to touch on all of these things in the coming presentation. So a Title I school. Title I was passed in 1965. Under that ESAR Act, it is the largest federal assistance program for our nation's schools. And that just means more funding. As many of you know, we're not the only district that struggles with this. A lot of our school districts, and particularly our urban school districts, are drastically underfunded. Many of you followed along with the Kerwin legislation a couple years ago. They talked a lot about the underfunding of Baltimore City public schools. It's not something that's unique to the Baltimore City. It is unique to the United States as a country. And the federal government has stepped in to offer that assistance. Title I schools receive extra funding, which are referred to as Title I dollars, from the federal government, which are used to identify students experiencing academic difficulties and provide assistance to help those students, to purchase additional staff, programs, materials, and supplies, and conduct parent and family engagement meetings, trainings, events, and activities in order to bring families and parents into the fold. As a parent, you have rights when your child is at or attending involved with a Title I school. You have the right to be involved in the decisions that are made at both the school and district level. So PCAB is that body of parent representatives and parent groups, along with other entities that sit at the table and help to make the decisions right along with the Baltimore City School Board. and CEO and other key officials in the district. You have the right to be provided with information on your child's level of achievement on tests in language and reading arts, writing, mathematics, and science. You have the right to request or receive information on the qualifications of your child's teacher and the paraprofessionals who are working with your child. You can do this or start that process by calling our main school number and making that request of our school administrative staff. You have that right to know what the qualifications of your child's teachers are, and they can give you some more information about exactly what that means as you go along. You have the right to request opportunities for regular meetings, to formulate suggestions, and to participate as appropriate in decisions about the education of your child. The school is required to respond to any such suggestions as soon as practically possible. I'm not sure how every other school does it, but for this particular point, you can contact our school or you can come into the main office and we have a parent request form that you can fill out. We try our best. The administrative staff has set a goal of getting back to every parent within 48 hours. So if you ever have a concern, you need a meeting with a teacher, we have a formal process for that. You can call the number, you can come in and fill out a parent request form. Title I funds can be used to do a number of things. You can utilize it to create smaller class sizes where you can. You can purchase or hire additional teachers and paraprofessionals or the support staff that work with your students. You can use it for training. If you feel like your staff needs extra training, extra certifications, you can use that for training for the school staff. Extra time for instruction. Now, that's like, why do you have to pay for that? We do what's called small groups. A lot of times you can use those funds to create a smaller class size by having a support person in the classroom that can help to conduct with small groups. So that's just one example of how you can use those funds to purchase extra time for instruction. Also before and after school programs as well. Parent and family engagement activities and or a variety of supplemental teaching materials, equipment, and technology. So how does our school here at Cherry Hill use the funds? So this school year, our school was allotted approximately $623,450 in Title I funds. So we developed a school-wide program, which means we plan to spend our funds on the following: supplemental staff, which includes hall monitors, education associates, and intervention teachers. We're at 680 students. Hall monitors are incredibly important. We have a lot of opportunity where students are in the hallways and having extra staff that can assist with transitions, keep the hallways clear, and making sure our students are in the classroom when they're supposed to be, very important. Education associates, which is something that we've had for a while. This year, our education associates are also in teaching in the classroom, as well as supporting other teachers. Intervention teachers are teachers who focus in on a subject or an area, identifying students who need that extra help and working directly with those students. And then programs, materials, and supplies, a custodial contract. So in addition to having our district custodial team, we also have a cleaning crew that comes in at night and cleans the building. Our martial arts program, which has been here for quite a while, the kids love it. That was also utilized for Title I funds, and then instructional materials. For teacher professional development, we were able to pull from another funding source, so we did not have to utilize our Title I funds, at least so far, for teacher professional development. Parent and family engagement. Every Title I school is required to allocate at least 1% of its Title I allocation for parent and family engagement. And then you, as a parent of a Title I student or family or a family member, you have the right to be involved in how that money is spent, and that's the parent engagement funds. So we received approximately $7,000, which is roughly 1%, in parent and family engagement funding, and we have used or plan to use these funds for the following. So we've already had our back to school cookout. We provided 2 free shirts, 2 free uniform shirts for every student, food. We had partners giving out haircuts, and we had a DJ. We created time for parents to talk to and get to know teachers and other staff members. We've had our back to school night, which was I don't know if we really had to spend a whole lot of money on that one this year because it was virtual. But usually back to school night, math night, literacy night, we use these nights to distribute materials to help families supplement the learning at home. So we have Family Literacy Night that's going to be coming up. Our Power Parent meetings, which are bi-monthly, happen twice a month. Coffee conversations, so y'all come have a cup of coffee with me Monday morning. Those are going to be the first Monday of the month. These are more informal, but it's a great time to just kind of be able to talk to some of our staff and some of our parent leaders about things going on in the school. We have math night coming up as well. And then all of these events, usually we like to provide food and then educational materials to be used at home. So that's where that money is being planned to be spent this coming year. The School Improvement Plan, or SIP, I don't know if anybody actually calls it SIP, but the School Improvement Plan includes the identification of the school planning team and how they will be engaged in the planning process, a needs assessment and summary of academic and non-academic data, prioritize goals, strategies, and action steps to help address the academic and non-academic needs of students, teacher and staff professional development, and budgets, and budgets and the coordination of resources. Most of this with the School Improvement Plan is handled by the ILT in conjunction with our parent and family engagement team. The school must include family representation on our school planning team. So whenever we are working with our School Improvement Plan, there should be at least one family member who's representing that. We are currently in the process of our parent leadership group, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. And hopefully at some point, like once that's up and running, we'll be able to have a parent sit on that planning team as well. So under our improvement plan, what are the school-wide program goals? We have 3 major goals. We're going to increase the number of students performing on or above grade level on the iReady assessment to 11% or higher by the end of the year. So they've already taken their beginning of the year. The results of that should be available soon. Last school year, it was less than 1% performing at or above grade level, and that iReady is math. We're going to increase the number of students performing at or above the benchmark or above grade level on DIBELS 8, which is reading. That's an assessment to 30% or higher by the end of this school year, and that will be up from 19% last school year. And then our major goal is to increase our overall attendance rate to 75%, and that's being generous because really we want to get it up to 95%. But we're going to say 75% because we want to set some realistic goals, and we're trying to climb our way back from a 63% attendance rate last school year. So we're saying 75%, but really we're pushing for 95%. That's what we want to see at our school. A Homeschool Compact is a school parent compact. Is a written commitment that outlines how the entire school community, teachers, families, and students will share the responsibility for improved academic achievement. Now, I'm not going to go too much into this just yet because I have some slides for you all a little later on. Hey, just take one in. This was a great activity that we engaged in last school year with some families and some students coming up, and it's really, we're going to talk about it a little bit more later down the line. It's a really cool set of agreements that everyone kind of came to, that we said, these are our goals, how are we going to get there, and how do we make sure we're doing it together? And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a few. So I'm going to do a really quick poll. It says turn and talk to your neighbors, but we can't do that since we're still in the virtual COVID space. So I got a poll, and I'm going to throw this poll up, and the poll is just going to ask it, what's the best way to do a training for you? And this is really about parents and families, because we really want to start engaging on a deeper level parents, family members, and guardians. And the only way that we can really do that is by knowing what the best way is. Everybody isn't built for virtual, and we totally understand that. So we're trying to work through what is the best way. We have to do a couple of different ways. I'm going to leave this poll up for about 30 seconds. So if you could jump in, tell me what you think from the poll, and then we're going to move on in about 15 more seconds. All right, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And poll, and I'll keep it going. So if you want to know about the curriculum that we are using, the City School Standards provides a common set of expectations for what students will know and be able to do at the end of a grade for each subject area. City Schools academic standards form the framework for everything taught at the historic Cherry Hill Elementary Middle School. And these are 2 links that you can go to that will show us how to do it. I'm going to post this link, both of these links, in our Facebook and Class Dojo pages for your review. You probably won't need the high school one, but definitely the elementary school. Those will be posted on our Facebook page and Class Dojo at the conclusion of. And if you're interested in being involved, we have the interim leader of our parent group here today, who's going to say a few words in a little bit. And she'll be able to tell you as a parent how you can get involved. You can also reach out to Principal Guzman or Mr. Paul Grant if you want to be involved with the Homeschool Compact. It is not yet fully complete. We will be having some more input. There's still time to give input. You can contact myself at the number that I provided, and you'll see that number in a little bit as we move on. You can also connect as a parent. All parents at this point should be connected to your student's Class Dojo homeroom classroom. This is really important. Class Dojo is the internal communication system that we have created, and we're using it as both a monitoring tool around behavior management and really pushing our core values for the school, but also as the main form or a primary form of communication between instructors and parents. All right. You can follow us on social media. We're on all of the major social media sites. You can check our school story once you get connected to Class Dojo. Attend our quarterly student-led conferences. This is really important. The student-led conferences is something we're doing here at the historic Cherry Hill for the first time. And it's very different from the parent-teacher conference. It's fully led by the student, and we're going to talk about that as well in a few moments. And try to set up we suggest setting up a parent-teacher conference at least once, but preferably once or twice every year, just to check in. Doesn't have to be a long 30-minute meeting, but you definitely want to check in periodically to have an in-depth conversation about what your child is learning, where the needs are, where their strengths are, and then a strategy for how the teacher and parent can work together to make sure that your student is performing at their best. And And again, if you have general questions, please call our front office at this number here. If you need to reach Principal Guzman, here's his cell phone number here. I'm your community school coordinator, and that's my cell. You can also reach out to our family liaison, Mr. Paul Grant, at this email address here. And all of this information will also be shared on our Facebook and Class Dojo conclusion of the meeting. All right, so we want to say thank you for coming out. We got a few more things to go over, and we're going to be really quick. I want to talk to you all about the School Family Compact, and then we're going to have some words from our awesome parent leader who is on the call with us today, and then we're going to be good to go. So, the School Compact. In the simplest language possible, our Compact and Homeschool Partnership Plan explains how families and teachers will work together to make sure that all students reach or exceed grade level standards. Family participation at school. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. Thought I messed something up. All right. Family participation at school. Families are an integral participant in student achievement. To that end, we host 3 student-led conferences per year. Student-led conferences sound just like they stated. They are student-led conferences. Instead of the parent and teacher just having a conversation about the student, your child at their student-led conference will sit in front of you and the teacher, and they will give a presentation on what they have learned. They will talk to you about what their strengths are. They will talk to you about where they need the extra help, where they need to improve. It is completely student-led. The students know best where they are. And student-led conferences really bring that to the forefront and allow your student to tell you his or herself, like, this is where I am, this is where I'm really good, this is where I need extra help. Additionally, if families are interested in visiting the classrooms, we are able to arrange those visits as long as it's planned out in advance. This might be a good time to let everybody who might be listening know that we're having our final principal guided school tour tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So any parents who would like to participate in that tour, there's a link to sign up. If you can't sign up, but you can make it here around 8:45, 8:50 tomorrow, we can definitely get you in on that tour. So the Compact and School Home Partnership Plan describes critical academic skills. Those are just our goals. How the identified skills align with our school performance plan, which we talked about earlier. How the identified skills align with the BCS Blueprint for Success. All of those things are included in the School Family Compact. And then the next part is probably the most exciting part, which is breaking it up. And basically the School Family Compact is like, this is what I'm going to do at home, and the teachers, this is what I'm going to do in the classroom. And those two things together create a ecosystem around the student of academic learning that really is geared towards them reaching those benchmarks and those goals that they've set for themselves and that the school overall has set for itself. So strategies, some of the strategies that we came up with along with the families who participated in our School Family Compact meeting last school year. So families have agreed or will agree that they're going to get their child to school on time every day. Attendance is probably the most important thing. Showing up is half the battle. Showing up on time is probably 60% of the battle. So if we can get all of our students to commit to being in class every day on time and have our parents backing that up, we're pretty confident that we can take it, that our academic staff can take it from there. As long as they're here every day, they're not missing anything, they're on target, on track, then that starts with really getting here on time every day. Families agree that they will talk with their child about what they enjoy reading and learning about, and then finding books and reading materials around their topics of interest at home. Insisting on 30 minutes of family reading or math time every single weekday. Block out TV, computers, telephone calls, video games, and other homework, and for 30 minutes, insist that all of your children together, and adults if possible, read books or work on math. For younger scholars, providing them with opportunities to count sets of items such as candy, cereal, cards, toys, things of that nature on a daily basis. Scholars in third grade should be able to count, read, and identify numbers up to 1,000. So keeping that in mind, giving them opportunities to count. If you're cooking, how many spoonfuls am I putting in this? How many muffin holders in a muffin pan, or anything to do with weight, anything that they can count, give them those opportunities at home. And then encouraging and supporting your child as they use flashcards or online programs such as 99 Math to practice multiplication facts with fluency. And then in the school, educators, your teachers, they're going to commit to hosting virtual meet and greets and visits with all families, using those student-led conferences to share and explain student performance data to help families know if their child is at, above, or below grade level on the identified skills. This says each semester, but we've actually transitioned to a trimester, so that's 3 times a year during conferences and through virtual and in-person data sessions. Sharing mini lessons, videos, and other resources for families to use at home. Share practice sets that target the identified skills for families to use at home. And be available by phone, email, or in-person meetings. These interactions will be in a language families can understand to ensure two-way communication. We are an ESOL school. We have a specialist staff member here that supports our ESOL students. ESOL stands for English as a Second Language. So we have those resources right here at Cherry Hill. Okay, and I'm gonna stop here with this flyer about our Power Parent meeting, and I'm gonna give the floor to our current parent leadership group leader, Ms. Lovey McLean. And she's gonna talk to us a little bit about the parent group that is currently forming, how you all can get involved. So Ms. Lovey, I'm gonna give the floor to you.
Good evening, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Okay, great.
Can hear you.
Perfect. So my name is Lovey McLean, and I am the interim leadership along with 5 other parents at the school for the Parent Power team. And what we have done is put together a group of parents, small group, we're still recruiting, that we are formulating solutions that can help our scholars, also figuring out what needs to be done so that we can reinforce the solutions that are already attempting to be implemented at the school. So that we can be an effective part of that ecosystem that George was talking about, right? The ecosystem that is required for our children to have an effective and impactful educational experience. So that is really the focus of the parent group this year, is to be a part of the changes that are happening at Cherry Hill that we love, and how we can be a part of the progress that will help our children to progress, right? So that is what the parent group is working on at this moment, strengthening ourselves in numbers, being in good communication and collaboration with other parents, being in good communication and collaboration with the community as well, the teachers, the staff, the whole team that kind of is the framework that goes around our children. They say it takes a village. So we're part of that village, you're part of that village, just strengthening the village and doing our part. That is the focus of the Parent Power Group. And so we're here to assist, also extending the invitation for you guys, anybody that is here, to come and be a part of our group so you can hear what the parents have to say in a real candid way, because they are inviting, the doors open for you guys to come to our meetings to see what's going on, so we can always be in a mode of collaboration. Right now, we're meeting bi-weekly on Thursdays. We have a meeting this evening at 6, and we meet virtually. Teachers, staff, community members are also included to be a part of this with us. We meet bi-weekly on Zoom. And And so that is really the focus right now. And so, and if you are interested in being a part or collaborating with us or seeing what we are doing, so that we can continue to get this ball going and growing, then you can reach us at either kimsparentgroup@gmail.com, or my telephone number is 443-353-7474. And I believe George has my information on file if anybody needs to reach me, so that we can continue this conversation and help it grow throughout the year and years to come, right? The kids are our future generations, and what we generate amongst ourselves and the benefit of them can make all the difference in the world. So our parent group is focusing on what we are generating to make sure that our next generation is doing its best. So that's us, parent group.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lovey. And we're gonna go through these really quickly because we're pretty much done. But one thing I did want to talk about was our Power Parent meetings. We had 2 great Power Parent meetings. They were pretty well attended as well. This past October, we have 2 more coming up in November. And I just wanted to be clear about the structure of our Power Parent meetings this year. So our Power Parents are those parents, it's certainly open to any parent who would like to participate, but our Power Parent meetings are when we bring some of our most active parents together to help get out the word on certain information, and then leveraging those parents to kind of get that word out to other parents. So we talked all about Class Dojo in the month of October, and really trying to get parents up to speed with what we're doing here in the school with Class Dojo and the really creative ways that we're using it. Next month, or this upcoming month in November, we're going to talk a lot about parent leadership and engagement. We're going to talk about volunteer opportunities. We're going to talk about some opportunities with parents, like we just talked about Title I. We talked about school improvement, CSI, and how we wanted to get those things, how those things really are dependent on our parents being involved. Well, we have quite a few distinct opportunities where parents can be involved, and we're going to be talking about all of those various ways through the month of November. Every month, we essentially have the same meeting twice, so this is basically set up for you. The results of that poll was 50-50, virtual and in person. So we have the virtual meeting, which will be in the second Tuesday of every month at 2 p.m. We have a virtual only meeting where we will meet on Zoom and have a presentation and talk about the topic. On the 4th Tuesday of the month, which will be November 23rd at 4:30 p.m., we do an in-person hybrid meeting, meaning that you will be more than welcome to come to our community classroom and engage with that meeting, or you can also attend virtually. But I'm here in person, so y'all should come see me, because I don't like sitting in here by myself. And then just a couple updates around what we're doing as a community school. In response to COVID-19, we have had several very well-attended, very robust vaccination events. The last of those that are currently scheduled will be next Friday, November the 5th. The MedStar Mobile Clinic will be here from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. There will be some coffee, donuts, and other things going on inside of our community center. So come on up, talk to their staff about the vaccine. Even if you don't decide to get vaccinated, you're more than welcome to come in and kick it with us. There's usually some parents here, some of our community partners will stop by with other resources, hand sanitizer, wipes, things of that nature. And with this one being the last one that's currently scheduled, we would love to see you come out, even if you don't have any plans on getting vaccinated. We either we're gonna talk you into it or we won't. But you come on out and it's a good time. As I mentioned earlier, our final school tour with Principal Guzman is going to be tomorrow. We've had a series going through the entire month of late September into the entire month of October. Various dates set aside for school tours that were led by either Principal Guzman and in one case, another administrator when Mr. Guzman was unavailable. This does not mean that this is the last or only opportunity for you to come and visit with your scholar's teacher, or if you want to create that time to come and see your child in the classroom. This is just of this series of tours events that we created. Tomorrow is the last opportunity. Also tomorrow, we're inviting our scholars and parents. If you want to come up to the school, parents, drop them off dressed up. But we're doing a dress up day tomorrow in celebration of the Halloween holiday on Sunday. And we're asking our students to come dressed as their favorite character from a literary work or text. Pretty much everything comes from literary work, but we were asking our students to be a little thoughtful about it. So we're gonna have dress on day. The only thing we're asking, please, no students, nothing with violent depictions. We're not gonna do the fake blood. And because everyone already has to wear their face coverings, we decided that this year we're gonna not do any masks or type of mask that cover the face. We just really thought about it, and we just don't want kids who already have to have their regular mask on to put a second mask on top of that in celebration of dress up day, and then create a potentially negative health situation because they got too much covering up their mouth and nose. So we're asking students to be thoughtful about it. Makeup is okay, but we asked that no mask this year. Did I skip something? Look like it's about time for us to go because my computer is getting on the fritz. We do have our first attendance incentive scheduled for Friday, December 17th. Our principal has rented out 2 whole theaters that will be utilized for this field trip, which is Friday, December 17th. Students with perfect attendance for the month of October and November are going to be eligible to attend to a movie on Friday, December 17th. Any students that have had absences due to a positive COVID test in the past or have been out because of anything related to COVID, those will not count as absences. So if your child was previously in one of those pools of classes where there was a positive pool and they had to be out for a couple of days until they got the results of the individual test, those absences will not be counted. Keep your eye out on our TicToc challenge. This is being conducted by our climate, culture, and safety team. We're asking students to engage as classes to create those TikTok videos that they all love, and we're going to have a process in place to judge those, and they're going to compete against other classes for the top TikTok prize. And there'll be a prize for the class that ultimately wins. We are also, we have an event coming up that Elevate Baltimore, the community school partner of the school, is very, very highly engaged in. This is a student-led and student-centered symposium on anti-racist education. We are hoping to take at least 8 to 10 parents with us. This is a virtual event, but we're hoping to have about 8 to 10 parents engaged from our school. So if anyone wants any more information or has questions about that, please feel free to reach out to me directly. If anyone is interested in doing a watch party around this, please reach out to me directly. It's a Saturday, but if anyone is willing to come out to the school, we can absolutely gather, watch it together, talk, throw some ideas back and forth, all of those things. I love these types of conversations. I think they're incredibly important. So if anyone is interested, Ms. Lovey, if you got like a group of 5 or 6 parents that want to get together and like engage in this at once, let me know. We'll get it set up. We'll set up a big TV screen or watch it right here in the classroom. We'll get some food and we'll do that.
I don't know if you can see my head shaking, but my head was shaking like this.
I see your head shaking. I'm like, yeah, she's down. She definitely want to do that. Okay, I'm down for that. So we'll connect on that one, around that one. And then this is the structure of our school, family, and community councils. There were some things that went down at the school that resulted in us putting this meeting together rather quickly. But moving forward, you're going to start to see much more structure to our school, family, and community council. And this is one of the places where you are really, like, we need parents all over this thing, right? Like, we really want our parents to be much more engaged and involved on a leadership level. So if you take a look at this, we're looking for, you know, this meeting, it should be me and, you know, it's a three-way co-chair between myself, our family community engagement liaison or FCE liaison, and a family and or community member, right? Like, so that's opportunity for a parent. Our attendance committee, we would love to have a parent on that. If you look at these different partners, we're looking for 2 to 3 parents on our community and family and community engagement team. That parent collaborative section over here would be just full of parents. There's a parent on our climate and safety. We're looking for at least 1 parent to serve on the climate and safety committee, the attendance committee. So there's plenty of opportunities. We just need the parents to come in and start filling up those spots. And we're gonna have some activities to that effect coming up. And this is my contact information. You can reach me by email, but that's my cell. Like I said, call me anytime. I'm here and I usually respond. If I don't, I'll get right back to you. And then Ms. Lovey's contact information is here, her cell phone number, along with the official parent, Chim's parent group at gmail.com, which is their email address. All right, so I'm gonna stop it here. Does anyone have any questions? If not, I'm gonna let you all go. I'll hold off for a few questions. But thank you all for coming. If you could all stay on for just about 30 more seconds, as soon as I end the meeting, there's a survey that's gonna pop up. If you could, it would be really, really helpful for us if you could take a few moments just to complete that survey. Let us know how we did and where we can do better. So thank you all for coming. Are there any questions?
It's not a question, but hey, Ms. McLean, how are you? Hey, George, thank you so much. And thank you for facilitating. Ms. McLean, I'm the Family and Community Engagement Specialist, or one of them supporting Cherry Hill. And I'm super excited to hear about the Parent Power Group. Very excited and wanna support in every way I possibly can. So I know your information has been dropped a few times, but I'm gonna make sure I get it from George.
Okay.
It on hand, but I'd love to connect with you and make sure that we're doing everything possible to be elevating parent voices, putting parents in leadership positions. That's what it takes, right? Changing culture and making sure the parent voice is there and in a position to help make change. So we'll be in contact soon. I appreciate you. All right, cool. And this is my partner in crime, Mr. Tony Cho Dwyer here. He's also a family and community engagement specialist.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Powerful statements, Ms. McLean, about, you know, generating for the next generation. I'm gonna copy. You better copyright that because I'm gonna steal that one. So look forward to moving the work along.
I'm going to keep my eye on you, Tony.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. But great job, George, and you know, looking forward to working with you all.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for coming out. That's just over an hour. I'm actually proud of myself because I thought it was gonna take a lot longer than that. And y'all have a good night. I'm gonna let y'all go.
All right, y'all. Bye, good people. All right.